This video is on graphing functions by point plotting, which just means we are going to take the function as written, take some values in a t-chart, plug them in, do the arithmetic, connect the dots, and we will have our function. There are other ways to graph functions, and we will look at that in some other videos later. So this is my function, f of x equals x. Remember, f of x is just the same thing as y, so if you need to, you can think of this as just being y equals x. So put -2 in here, we're going to get -2 back. Put -1, we get -1 back. For this function, all of the x values and the y values are the same. So if we're going to graph this, -2, -2 is right here. -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and we have our dots along the line. Because this tool is a little unwieldy, sometimes I'm not going to graph the whole line. You can tell by looking at the dots, though, that this would be your line. If we're going to do this one, let's change colors. Put -2 in for this x, and this is -2 minus 2, which gives us -4. Put -1 in for x, -1 minus 2, which is -3. 0 minus 2 is -2. 1 minus 2 is -1. And 2 minus 2 is 0. You can do this arithmetic in your head. You can write it down. You can plug it in your calculator, whatever works for you. To graph these points on the same grid, -2, -4 will be here. -1, -3 is here. 0, -2, over 1, down 1, over 2, up 0, and there is that line. Now, we have two lines. Now, you may remember your y equals mx plus b is your equation of a line, but we're not really going to talk about that right now. What we want to look at is f of x equals x is the basic function, and f of x minus 2 is this function in red. How do these two functions compare? Well, it's pretty easy to see that the red one has been shifted down 2. Can you tell looking at the equation that this would shift down 2? Hopefully you'll begin to pick up on things like that as we go through this lesson. Another one, f of x equals x. We've already done all of these in the other chart, so we can just write this down from the other page. All of these stayed the same, giving me these points, 0, 0, over 1 up 2, over 2 up 2, and that would be the blue line. Let's do the arithmetic on this function. Put -2 in for x, -2 plus 3 gives us 1. Put -1 in for x, -1 plus 3 gives us 2. 0 plus 3 is the next one. 1 plus 3 will give us 4, and 2 plus 3 gives us 5. So let's plot those points. -2, 1 is over 2, to the left, up 1. -1, up 2, 0, 3, over 1, up 4, over 2, up 5. And we do get a line, but the important thing is, how does the blue line change? What's happened to the blue line is it has been shifted up 3. So this shifts up 3. That plus 3 is what shifts it up 3. Another function to begin with, f of x equals the absolute value of x. So we're going to plug these numbers in and take the absolute value. Taking the absolute value will turn all of our numbers positive. Putting -2 in here, absolute value of -2 is 2. Absolute value of -1 is 1. Absolute value of 0 stays 0. And then these are both 1 and 2. So graph these. -2, 2 puts us here. -1, 1 puts us here. 0, 0. 1, 1, 2, 2. And what we get for absolute value is a V. Think about absolute value, V for value. Anytime you are graphing absolute value, you'll get some sort of V. Now, do you think what we just did will hold true? Do you remember back here we had this function of x. When we added 3, it shifted it up 3. Do you think taking our function plus 1 will shift it up 1? Well, let's take a look at the arithmetic and see what happens. Absolute value of -2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Absolute value of -1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. Absolute value of 0 stays 0, plus 1 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2, plus 1 gives me 3. Let's plot these points. negative 2 up 3, negative 1 up 2, 0, 1, over 1 up 2, and over 2 up 3 is going to give me a V. All right, off screen, I went ahead and drew these in using the line tool so that you could see it a little more clearly. The blue was our original V for absolute value. Our red was our new one right here. And the question is, did this blue one get shifted up 1 as we expected from our other screen? And yes, it did. Every one of these blue points moved up 1. I've already drawn in the V for the absolute value for our first function. Let's do the arithmetic on this and then see if our rules are beginning to hold true. Put negative 2 in for x. Absolute value of negative 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 gives us 0. Put negative 1 in here. Absolute value of negative 1 is 1. 1 minus 2 will give us negative 1. Absolute value of 0 stays 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Absolute value of 1 stays 1. Minus 2 is negative 1. Put a 2 here, you're looking at 2 minus 2 is 0. And let's see what this looks like. Negative 2, 0 is right here. Negative 1, negative 1. 0, negative 2. 1, negative 1. 2, 0. And there you can see your V. That's not too bad. So the red is this function down here. And has it been shifted according to this minus 2? Yes, it has gone down 2. What this is just barely introducing to you is what's called vertical shifting. There's a whole lot more to graphing functions that you'll see later. But these few examples are showing you that having a plus or a minus at the end of the function is going to do exactly what it looks like. Plus 1, that shifted up 1. This said plus 3, it shifted our line up 3. This said minus 2, we took our line and shifted it down 2. So that those are things that you're going to want to start thinking about when you're graphing, when you don't want to use the points to plot. Let's look at one more of these. The square root of x, this is one we haven't seen yet. Notice that our values for x over here have changed, and that is because this is square root. I couldn't have kept my chart as negative 2, negative 1, etc. because I can't take the square root of a negative. So I picked these carefully. Not only did I pick them positive, but because I was taking the square root, I picked them so they would come out even. Square root of 0 is 0. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. So 0, 0, 1, 1. Almost starts to look like a line, but watch what happens on this next one. Over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. And over 9, I'm going to have to estimate a little because this only goes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe. Up 3 is about there. And what this does is curve. That's the best I can draw with this tool. There's not a little valley there, it's just a straight curve. Question is, since this says square root of x minus 2, do you think this is going to shift it down to? Let's see what happens with the numbers. Same thing, I picked some values that are going to come out even for me. So square root of 0 is 0, minus 2 makes negative 2. Square root of 1 is 1, minus 2 gives me negative 1. Square root of 4 is 2, minus 2 is 0. Square root of 9 is 3, minus 2 is 1, and let's graph those. 0, negative 2 is here, 1, negative 1, 4, 0, and 9, which is like out here a little bit, 1. And if I can draw this, you see that we get pretty much the same curve, but what has happened to the blue curve? It has shifted down 2. So in this section, it's just a matter of using the points, doing the arithmetic, and plotting. But hopefully you begin to discover certain trends. And the only thing these examples looked at so far are the shiftings, the vertical shiftings. Square root of x, we know these numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2. And that's about enough. I know what it's going to look like. That's pretty good. Change colors. Square root of 0 is 0, plus 1 makes 1. Square root of 1 is 1, plus 1 is 2. Square root of 4 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Square root of 9 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, and that's probably good enough. See if I can get the curve to look okay. And that is your shifting of up 1.